Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the CYANSKY HS7R Headlamp. I want to thank CYANSKY for sending me the light and making this review possible. Now, I know what everybody is here for. You want to see beam shots in a realistic environment. I just want to say a couple quick things in the way of introduction. First of all is weight. This light has got some heft to it. When you add the strap, you're looking at a grand total of 213 grams. That's getting pretty close to half a pound. So question number one, do you want nearly half a pound hanging off your head? This is padded, but then you have the bare metal around it. Now, this curls outward, not inward. That's good. But we're in Texas, pushing summertime. Within just a couple of weeks, it's going to be in the high 90s in late evening, around dusk. I don't want to be wearing this on a bare head. Now, during wintertime with a head cover, I've worn this setup from CYANSKY before, and it's no problem. Tonight, I'm going to be looking at this as a free light, something that's handheld. I've got a clip attached here, and I'll also run it clipped to my normal chest rig. In terms of output, you've probably been to the website. You know that there are two modes, flood, spot. You can run flood or spot, but not both at the same time. This is your spot control, flood control, spot emitter, flood emitters. Let me change hands real quick. There is electronic lockout, a proximity sensor that can be enabled or disabled as you see fit. There is a magnetic base, if you like that. You have this very convenient L shape. I have average size hands. It fits just perfectly in the hand. There is supposedly memory. What I found, I may go into this later in detail. I don't want to waste video time. Works for flood and spot. I found it only seemed to work for low and medium. I might do a demonstration later when it's darker. There are 4 output levels for each mode, low, medium, high, turbo. The other thing I'll mention very quickly is if you use this as a free light, this is the charging port cover right here. I don't particularly like this location because your thumb is always moving around like this. And I just did it. It's so easy to brush across and open that. So that's something to keep in mind if you use it this way. Maybe a couple of things to think about before you rush off and click that add to cart button. But enough of me babbling on. It's time for the light to start doing the talking. So let's let the sun go down and we'll get out there and see what this light can actually do. This is low flood. I'm at the bridge where I normally do output level testing. Let's look around here. Up 1 to medium. Then high. And everyone's favorite turbo. Now we're looking over the bridge in low spot. Medium. High. Turbo. I have my CYANSKY headlamp on right now in a very low flood. Just want to show you a couple things. If you press either of the controls for less than half a second, you get the battery indication. Now I'm going to turn on the spot. That's in medium. High, turbo, turn off. Now watch me turn it back on. That's not turbo. See, I can still go up. So that's what I was talking about regarding memory in spot. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's get started with the practical test tonight. We are in the playground area, simulating searching for something. Perhaps you were out here with the kids earlier today, you dropped something, they dropped something, didn't realize it till later, have to come back and search for it. This is medium flood. And if you like warm lights, you're going to like this one. I do this test a lot, and with the cool white lights, those brown rails look a lot closer to a grayish hue. I always like to do a path following example. So you get jammed up. This is the light you have in your pocket. What's the lowest output that you could adequately follow a groomed path? I'm on medium spot right now. Seems to get the job done. I'd probably like a little bit more downrange. Side to side is not bad, but it's certainly adequate, and you'd get more run time from this. So this is high spot, looking over a creek, back up the other side into a tree line that's over 35 yards from this position. Now I'll pan right, entrance to the outer loop trail, and about 23, 24 yards to that sign. Keep going, and then look off into the edge of the tree line as the path curves to the right. Let's go from high spot to high flood. This simulates a situation where a person may be out. It's very common to look for owls out here and other birds, for example. So this is an area that I often use to test the turbo output of several lighting systems. There's a gap in the tree line in front of me, and then if you look out into the distance, there's a second tree line. That second tree line is in excess of 175 yards. And here we are back in the same area at night on turbo spot. Very wide field of view, but with light pollution and atmospheric conditions, barely able to punch through that first gap in the trees, which is about 95 yards. Pan around to the right a bit, and yes, the light is getting very hot. There is the magnetic mount, high flood, looking back across the bridge to the observation tower, about 35 yards to the far tree line. One last look at Turbo Flood from the bridge looking down to the bottom of the observation tower area. And I've noticed a number of people looking for owls and other birds in this particular area. And yes, there is lots of heat. Last look at Turbo Spot, magnetic mount. Max line of sight is about 55, 58 yards from this position. And this is a more enclosed area, so you get better results from a lower candela light such as this. You can already see a bit of step down. All right, that's our last look in Turbo Spot. A couple more tests and then we'll wrap it up for the night. And speaking of last, here's our last look in low flood. Can't quite see the water. Back at the picnic area, we've got some light as well as dark pockets. So let me bring the Cyansky here on medium spot. We'll just take a look around. One up to high. I'm just going to leave it on high. So I've said numerous times before, I'm not an advocate, an ambassador, an enthusiast, or a fanboy of any brand or product within a brand. I'm really just the guy who runs the test. You make the decisions. From what I saw, the big winner here is the flood. And I do a lot of videography beyond just product reviews, and I can see a lot of potential for that light. I also like nature observation and videography just as much as anyone else. I could see instances where I just put a good head cover on, or I put together a bit of a hack to increase the comfort level of that headlamp strap. I just use the spot to make my way across territory. You can see with it being low candela, you have a very generous wide hot spot and good spill. So for that use case, it seems to work reasonably well. Then when I'm ready to film, I've got that fantastic flood working for me. Maybe you can think of some other use cases as well. In terms of use case, I hope you saw enough tonight to make a decision. If not, leave a comment. I'll see if I can do some additional testing. And as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.